Well, earlier our reporters were in Soweto, but were forced, in fact, to pull out due to safety concerns. Let's get more information there and as to what exactly happened. Our reporter, Hasina Gori, was a part of the team that was deployed to Soweto. Very good afternoon to you, Hasina. I do understand you had quite a difficult situation while stationed in Soweto, and indeed you've now pulled out. Talk to us, please, about what happened and what led you to, in fact, having to pull out of covering the protests in Soweto, please.
Good afternoon. Yes, we were deployed to various parts of Gauteng, Johannesburg area from the morning, which was relatively calm. We had then been asked to assist in Soweto, where the situation sporadically went intensified. When we got to Soweto on the en route to where we were supposed to be in Jabulani, we saw sporadic looting begin outside of Bree Mall. We decided to stop and assess the situation. It was quite busy at that time, so we decided to go out. My colleague Ronewa went out into the mall to take visuals, while we decided that I would, be behind in the vehicle taking visuals of those that were running out of the mall. While in the passenger seat of our vehicle, the group noticed that I was recording and surrounded our vehicle, asking me to delete the visuals and to stop recording. I negotiated with them through the closed window, telling them we're the media, showing them that I'd stop recording and that the visuals were then deleted. Someone came up with a brick to our window. As we started talking, I tried, calming them down, showing them that we part of the media, showing them my bulletproof vest, which has the inscription of, the media on it. This led them to actually aggravate them a little bit more, and they smashed the passenger window with the brick. I'm going to ask Ronewa to just give you a sense of, the brick that was used to open that window, and the only valuable that they could take at that point, they couldn't see my phone at that point, was my bulletproof vest, which they seem to have wanted. And they just left us at that point. My colleague Ronewa had come back by then, and he was also threatened inside the mall by the looters, telling him that they're coming back to deal with him and that he should stop recording. Our incident is not isolated. It's not the only incident that has occurred to one of our crews. Just since yesterday, in the last 24 hours, at least 6 of SABC vehicles have been damaged at some way by looters, both in Gauteng as well as in KwaZulu-Natal, where we've seen that violent protest, really intensifying through the different areas. We know that at least 2 of our colleagues in KwaZulu-Natal were also intimidated. Jaden Lee Paulson had to be rescued by police officers. Here in Gauteng, I know my colleague who was in Soweto earlier on in Bali, she also was intimidated and was also asked to remove herself for her own safety. This has become quite cumbersome for journalists and media personnel, to send out crews and be safe in these areas, because while we want to tell the story, police are already stretched quite thin, just trying to curb down these lootings and are unable to also, give safety to journalists. So it's quite hard. We've had to remove ourselves and come back to the office just for our own safety this afternoon.
Yeah, Hasina, you must be quite shaken, and the fact that you can calmly recount what happened the way you are is quite commendable. Let's talk about, the situation really. I don't know if while you were in Soweto, if you were able to come across other media, other people that are working and wanting to file stories on Soweto. Do you know at this stage if, we're not the only group that has decided to indeed pull out of Soweto? And in fact, maybe we can also talk about how volatile the situation really is then in Soweto. We, of course, just got the news that the army is then going to be deployed. And I wonder if there was a sense that this is then going to take place anytime soon from the time that, you were leaving.
Mm-hmm. From what we understand, when we got in, we actually had not been in Soweto for quite long at that time. But we know from yesterday as well that teams were also intimidated in other parts. We know that our own camera crew was robbed at gunpoint yesterday in Alex, which is on the north of Johannesburg, as well as another media house was also intimidated. So from the little that we're getting out from other media houses, it is quite a similar situation of intimidation. I'm not sure if any others have left the area. We know that the army is going to be deployed to assist the police and to ensure their safety. Hopefully that will assist also in ensuring that the media can continue their work at that time without that fear of robbery. I mean, we were lucky enough that all our valuables were in the boot at that time, so there was nothing else for them to steal. I know that they tried asking us for the keys. I acted like I didn't understand what they were saying and just kept calm, hoping that the group will not get larger than it was, because it was maybe about 6 men at that time, and I was hoping that it does not get any bigger than that. So I think that for a lot of media journalists that are out there at this moment, they are weighing the pros and cons of telling the story versus the safety of their crews as they go out, because it's not just loss of equipment, but also the safety of the journalists who are going out there.
Hasina Gori, thank you very much for giving us an update, and of course glad to see you safe and uninjured back